The 2019 Women of Achievement have been announced, and we'll meet two of them next on City Corner. I'm Steve Potter, and welcome to City Corner. The St. Louis Women of Achievement 2019 honorees have just been announced, but for a little bit of background, it all began back in 1955 when Women of Achievement was founded by the old Globe Democrat magazine here in St. Louis, which is no longer here. And this year they're honoring 10 women in different categories for their service and leadership in volunteerism. And I'd like to introduce you to our first guest today, and that is Kailyn Mccallister. Hi, Kailyn. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
You know, I was thinking, most people I know that do volunteer work don't do it for recognition or to think they're getting an award someday. So what's your reaction to receiving this honor?
I was shocked. When I got the phone call, I had no idea. I was just shocked. It took me about 2 days before I could even speak again.
Just curled up in a little ball or something?
Yeah, I was just like, is this real?
What started, I'm going to go into your whole background, but okay. Were you always interested in volunteerism your whole life, or was this something that started later?
It started later. I became a Buddhist in, I guess, early 1990s. And I went on to become a priest and be ordained, and then later Dharma transmitted. And as a Buddhist, I began thinking about people in need. And I was attracted to prison work for some reason. I liked that energy. I was a volunteer in all the eastern Missouri prisons for about 7 years. After that, I applied for and became a chaplain for 5.5 years at Farmington Correctional Center.
Were you very religious growing up? Did that kind of come from that, or?
No, I just like the thought process in Buddhism, or the lack of it, I would say.
You've just mentioned something about, what did you say about energy?
Uh-huh.
When referring to prison, I'm not sure what you meant by that.
There's an excitement kind of in prison. I mean, it's kind of a drudgery, a day-to-day drudgery, but there's energy in there, people surviving.
See, I would think everyone's always depressed.
No, not at all. I mean, once you get used to your surroundings, you go into survival mode. And you're trying to make it day-to-day, and you're trying to find something interesting, something good to eat, too. Prison food is not the best.
I'm sure. Well, speaking of food, one reason we have this little display here on the table is that you founded something called Laughing Bear Bakery.
Yes. When I retired in 2015, I noticed, like, in the chapel where I was, the guys would come up to me and they would be saying, "We're freaking out. We're going to get out in a couple of weeks. There's not going to be any jobs for us. We're going to be back in prison. I think I'd rather just stay in prison." And I got thinking about this, and I thought, I need to do something. So I promised them. Sometimes I regret that promise, but I promised that I'd do something about it. And when I got out, I was thinking, there are jobs available to returning citizens, but a lot of them are work that no one else wants. It's heavy, it's dirty, it's backbreaking, and you know, in prison, a lot of the guys are not your big, beefy guys.
Not the stereotype.
Yeah, not at all. And I thought, I want to do something that's fun, tastes good, and I love to bake. My background's kind of in chemistry, of all things.
Well, chemistry, baking, right?
Right. And and I love to bake. I can't cook at all. Don't ever ask me to cook.
You can bake and you can't cook?
That's correct. There's chemistry in this. And so I started a bakery, and I retired.
To employ
only ex-offenders.
Right.
A lot of people come in and they want to work at the bakery, and I tell them, no, you have to have a felony. I said, go out and get one.
At least you have a sense of humor.
Yeah, and I said, after you get out of prison 10 years from now, we'll look at you for the bakery.
Where's your bakery located?
We're down in Centenary United Methodist Church. We rent space there. We're an incubator.
Is that in South St. Louis somewhere?
No, it's downtown. It's at 16th and Olive.
Uh-huh.
And we're there on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
So when somebody works for you, how many hours, do they have a regular schedule, like a regular job?
Yeah, we're trying to get to full time. We have to get our products out, wider distribution. Right now we're in Straub's, we're in the Smokehouse, we're at Washington University, we're in Local Harvest. We're just going into a couple of new places. Auntie's Soul Kitchen with our sweet potato pie. We got some good.
Wait a minute, you didn't bring a sweet potato pie.
You'll have to come get one.
Do the ex-offenders who work for you, do they have to have any baking experience at all? Is that a prerequisite?
No, we teach them. They just have to have a felony, and they have to be able to get along well with other people.
Right.
Because we have a lot of different types in the bakery.
You want a fun atmosphere there, I bet.
Yeah, we do.
Well, you brought some things. Let's talk about them. This is from Laughing Bear Bakery, which you founded. And everything you make, I think, kind of has an interesting name that means something. But I'm looking at a chocolate chip cookie here, and it's Big O's chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah.
So what can you tell me? Who's Big O?
That's Arvel. He worked for us. He just left for a full-time job. Out of 25 people who's worked...
I'm going to try this.
Sure. Out of 25 people who's worked at the bakery, 23 have gone on to full-time employment. 2 have gone back to prison, which is pretty good, right? Arvel could not get the size of our cookies right. He kept making them bigger and bigger.
That's a problem?
Yeah. And so we finally just gave up, and we said, we're going to name this cookie after you. We'll call it Big O's.
And make it as big as he wants to.
Yeah.
Awfully darn good. Where do your recipes come from? Is that you?
Mostly, yeah. A lot of them are like old family recipes and people I know who have old family recipes. Our latest baker, Kathy, she came in with a Mississippi Cat's sweet potato pie, and it's good.
This is Hearty Lombardi cookies.
Uh-huh.
Hearty Lombardi?
That was named after George Lombardi, who was former director of Department of Correction.
These almost look more like muffins than cookies.
Yeah.
So what's the story with these?
Well, one of our bakers was messing around with some leftover dough and created these. They're pretty good.
Very good.
Yeah. They have pecans and a cherry on top. And
a couple of pies here. What do you call these?
Okay. This is a chocolate bourbon pecan pie.
You know, that one got my attention.
Oh, I do. And
I'd offer you some, but you're not hungry, are you?
That's one rule we have in the bakery. The first week you could eat as much as you want.
So this bourbon pecan.
Chocolate bourbon pecan.
Chocolate bourbon pecan.
Yeah, the chocolate's on the bottom, but
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Do you do a calorie count on these?
No.
What's this one over here?
This is a raspberry gooey butter pie.
Now, is that fashioned after the famous St. Louis gooey butter cake?
It is. We call it St. Louis raspberry gooey butter pie.
That's sinful.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can really see this, though, but artistically, there's a style to this. There's an art to it.
Yeah. And that's the fun part. I mean, the guys say, oh, we can't do that. We can't do that. And I said, oh, no, you can.
It's beautiful.
And so we get the guys, their confidence up.
Uh-huh. One more item. And you particularly wanted to tell me about this. What's so special about that?
This is called Bear Candy, and it's our #1 selling product. We can't keep it on the shelves.
You call it candy?
We call it candy.
What is it?
It's a puffed corn covered with caramel and baked 3 times.
What an unusual texture.
Uh-huh. And everyone goes crazy over it. We also jokingly call it crack. We had one woman buy 5 containers to take home to her children. She lived 30 minutes away, and by the time she got home, it was all gone. She ate it all.
How would you describe the texture of this?
It just melts in your mouth. There's no kernel in it.
It's almost like hard cotton candy or something.
Yeah.
I can't really explain it.
Yeah, we can't either.
How many different bakery items do you make?
We make a lot more towards the holiday. Right now, we limit ourselves to 3 pies, 2 cakes. We have 4 muffins, and we have 3 different cookies.
So tell me about that.
We have a bear outfit. That's Mike Gann. He's the president of Laughing Bear Bakery Board, And he was also my farmer boss at Farmington. He's a retired deputy warden.
Uh-huh.
And there's our bear outfit. He's at the bar there having a beer.
So where'd the name Laughing Bear come from? Is there a story to that?
There is. A friend of mine had breast cancer, and she did a lot for establishing it, getting our tax exempt status, and she passed away. And I wanted to honor her with the bakery, but her name was Victoria, and I couldn't name the bakery Victoria's Bakery, of course. But she was Native American, and her totem was a bear. So we named it Laughing Bear because she laughed a lot.
You also have a publication that you call Start Here. What's that about?
Okay, one of the things I notice is that people can't find resources when they get out of prison or whether they're homeless. So I came up with an idea that we put together a publication called, and we call it Start Here St. Louis, where we list all the different, homeless shelters, places to get food, all kinds of help. It's a little booklet. But I just came up with the idea, and before I got it started, a woman jumped in, Carol Corey, and said, I have that program on my computer where I can make it into a booklet, and I gave it to her. She ran with it. We probably have distributed over 500,000 copies of it right now.
So as far as your Laughing Bear Bakery goes, you employ former felons who have gotten out of prison. How many do you have?
Right now we're down to 3. This is kind of a slow period. In the fall we go up to 11. We want to go full time. We have positions for everybody. We need delivery people. We need this. We need that. But we're not big enough yet. We're going for it.
So the problem is not that there aren't individuals willing to do it. That's not the problem, right?
No. In fact, every time we're on television or on a magazine, we get thousands of calls from people just getting out of prison. It's a huge problem.
Uh-huh. And are you out there to make money? Do you pay your bills, or how does it all come down the back office?
We've been lucky enough to get some grants that help us. We're not breaking even yet. Sometimes I'm paying for it myself.
Really?
Yeah, just to make it happen. But our bakers are wonderful. They're dedicated. They want to see this go someplace. They know the importance of getting a job when you get out of prison.
So if someone wants to support your good cause and have some good food too, what's the best way for someone to find your product?
Well, they could go to our website, laughingbearbakery.org, and you could order online. You do have to pick up from the bakery. We are also at various locations in St. Louis. We just got into the new Greenleaf store down on...
Is that the one just north of downtown?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have our bear candy. They have some of our muffins, etc. We make a chocolate cake that's to die for. It's from scratch. It's wonderful.
In just a couple of seconds, what do you think that Laughing Bear Bakery does for the man or woman that's come out of prison and works for you? Bottom line.
I think it gives them confidence that they could do something, they can make something, they could go on with their life. When you come out of prison, most people have nothing, absolutely nothing. They come out and, they're beaten down by society. They're told you can't get a job. They come to work with us, they're with fellow people, they're making good stuff, they're proud of it, and they have that sense of accomplishment.
Well, please give him a message from me. Job well done.
Okay, I will.
Thank you for bringing all this today.
Sure.
Kailyn Mccallister is one of 2019's Women of Distinction. We congratulate you and appreciate what you do. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
And we'll meet someone else who won an award today, too. We'll be right back on City Corner.
What I love about St. Louis is the 79 unique neighborhoods nestled into 108 city parks, including Forest Park, which is actually larger than Central Park in New York, and of course, the beautiful Tower Grove Park where I'm at now. Oh, the St. Louis Blues. We've got the St. Louis Surge, 2-time WBCBL champions. We've got Harris Stowe, WashU, St. Louis University, and of course, the 11-time World Series champion, St. Louis Cardinals. So come experience St. Louis.
I'm Steve Potter. Welcome back to City Corner. And the 2019 Women of Achievement winners were recently announced. We're meeting a couple of them today. And I'd like you to welcome now Valita Keys. And Valita won in the category of social enterprise. Hi, Valita.
Health advocacy.
Health advocacy. Did I write that down wrong? Oh, yes, that was came on from earlier. Pardon me.
That's okay.
Well, since I messed that up, what does that mean, health advocacy?
Well, just advocating for women, men to take care of yourself.
In what way?
Well, get your mammograms, make your appointment, keep your appointment. If you have to cancel, cancel. Going to see the doctor annually. And if something feels abnormal, don't ignore it.
Speak up.
Speak up. Call the doctor.
Well, first, congratulations on your award.
Thank you.
And let me ask the question I asked previously, too. Were you surprised by this? Because people are nominated, and there's a process, and then you end up receiving the award. But what was your reaction when you first heard that you were up for this?
I was at work, so I had to step out the room. So it was definitely surprising, and even more surprising to know that it was 100 nominees, and to be chosen out of 100 women just put another smile on my face, saying that I'm doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm. And boy, you have a very personal story of why you're involved in this particular thing, health advocacy, because you are a breast cancer survivor not once but twice.
Yes.
Do you mind sharing just a little bit of your story, like when it happened to you and just what you went through?
Well, I started getting mammograms at the age of 27 because I have family history of breast cancer.
So that'd be earlier than most women would?
Right. And so at 37, they found breast cancer in my left breast. A year and 5 days later, they found it again in my right breast. So it really resulted in 7 surgeries and getting both breasts removed and finding a passion to help other women win.
7 surgeries in what kind of time period?
2.5 years.
You must have been a consistent patient that whole time, right? I mean, you didn't get well and go back to work during that period, did you?
I did go to work with some of the surgeries, but it was me taking pain medication and taking it easy.
It must have been a challenge, not just physically, mentally?
Definitely mentally. Mentally, socially, physically, it was definitely a lonely period in my life. Lonely, and it wasn't bad because I met some amazing people during the journey, and I'm still meeting amazing people, so it wasn't bad. It just was a time in my life that I never forget.
Well, and when you're talking about your health, isn't it tempting sometime to give up and have a bad attitude? Because it's not always easy to stay positive and fight.
Oh, yes. I want to give up a lot of times, but I couldn't. I couldn't give up because I knew that I also carry the BRCA2 gene mutation, which means that it's in my genes. So 75 to 95% that I will have the breast cancer or ovarian or cervical cancer. So I'm not only fighting for myself, I'm fighting for my entire family.
And how are you today, just personally?
Today I'm well. Having breast cancer, you live it every day, really, because I'm in an uncomfortable body, so to speak, sometimes. So, but I'm well. No complaints.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how much you know about the history of the medical part about treating breast cancer, but I lost a grandmother to breast cancer back in 1973. And it seemed like, and I don't know if this was typical then, but I bet the treatments have changed a lot and improved. Because I remember from the time she was diagnosed to when she passed away was not a long time. I'm imagining things are a lot better now as far as treatment.
Oh, yes, treatments are much better. My breast cancer both times was found early, but it was me being accountable as well. So many things have changed with technology and getting results back is definitely, and it's changing every day.
But the trick is to stay on top of it and
stay on top of it. Get tested. don't be scared. You can be scared, but move right along with your fearfulness.
Mm-hmm. You founded an organization at some point called Valita's Hope. When did that happen? What's the story there?
That happened, a lot of my peers was really shocked at me having breast cancer at such an early age.
And what kind of work did you do?
I'm a nurse.
Huh.
So that happened with me basically just wanting to bring awareness to the community. And I started My Strength is Your Strength Pink and Pearls conference every year in October. And it was with my own funding. And then it has continued for the last 8 years. And so we just bring awareness to the community, and we bring out physicians, plastic surgeons, breast surgeons to bring the latest research to our community. So we've been doing that for 8 years. And then Valita's Hope also came from me being an identical twin. I have nieces. So I have to give them hope. We don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. So my hope is that if this journey is part of them, we have Valita's Hope.
Mm-hmm. You're a twin, you say?
Identical.
Huh. And you know what? One thing that got my attention when you said you were a nurse. Does that change how being diagnosed with breast cancer affected you being a nurse? I don't know if that would make you more confident because you know more, or more scared because you know more.
Both. Because you have so many questions once you do your own research. It's like, this is supposed to happen? So yeah, it's both. And then it's been a blessing as well, because when you get the call, sometimes you may not know the meaning of what they're saying. But as a nurse, I knew exactly what I was dealing with.
So at Valita's Hope, you deal with women that have recently been diagnosed? Is that what
Recently
it is?
diagnosed, undergoing a double mastectomy or a lumpectomy. And what we do is we go to women's homes and deliver recliners so that they can rest, heal, and recline, because you usually are discharged from the hospital from such a traumatic surgery, a double mastectomy, usually are discharged within 24 hours. And my goal is to make sure that they have something to rest in.
And what are we looking at here? Are these things that you give them when they're in the hospital?
Yes, those are the things that we give when we deliver the recliner. Those are comfort items. We give magazines, we give slippers, we give button-down pajamas. The button-down pajamas help a woman get to her drains. You usually come home with maybe 2 to 4 drains from a double mastectomy. And so we give blankets and pillows, back scratchers. We just, adult coloring books. It's just to help you in.
I bet, you're meeting women with all different kinds of backgrounds. Is this some sort of ceremony? Yeah,
that's the Valita's Hope Pink and Pearls event we have every October. And that's the surgeons. Dr. Macklin was one of my surgeons. Dr. Lennis Hall, she does so much in the community. She's a radiation oncologist. And Dr. Jovita O'Rourke is the breast surgeon here in Missouri. So that's us at our last event in October.
Mm-hmm. What's Mammogram Monday?
So it's Mammogram Monday. We do that for 52 weeks straight in a year. And we remind women to get their mammograms. If you're 40 years old, you need a mammogram. You need to make your appointment. You need to keep your appointment.
Is that a yearly thing once you start?
That is a yearly thing, unless the doctors or physicians say something different.
Mm-hmm. What do we see as far as breast cancer rates? Is there progress? Is there less breast cancer these days or not?
Well, the breast cancer rates are decreasing, but the disparity of it is increasing. Mm-hmm. So there's work to be done.
Tell me about this book, My Strength is Your Strength, Winning Against Breast Cancer. Now, this is a book that you've written. Tell me about it.
It was just released, and I've been writing it for 8 years. It's completed. It's like I said, it's a guidebook. It's a book of hope. It's a book of strength to women that has been recently diagnosed with breast cancer, and it's my story. And you can gain strength from reading my story.
Mm-hmm. How personal do you get?
Oh, it's very raw and uncut.
Is there maybe a little something you could share with us out of here?
Yeah, I can. It'll be great.
Tell me what you're about to share
So
with
I'm
us.
going to share with you where the bookmark is at. So this is chapter 18, and this is the physical therapy chapter. Physical therapy after a double mastectomy is a hidden blessing. After my double mastectomy, I literally couldn't lift my hands over my head. I knew I couldn't live like this for the rest of my life. Sometimes the doctor may not offer physical therapy to you, but you should just ask. It's your body, and doctors won't know exactly how you're feeling. Just ask, can you please arrange for me to have some physical therapy for my upper body strength? And this is usually no problem.
I kind of referred to this before, but you're being a nurse gives you kind of a special insight into all of this. Is that why you think you can help people so much?
Being a nurse is wonderful, but also being a patient is even better.
And just real quickly, this is a journal, My Strength is Your Strength journal, and it's empty. And I guess this is what you give women that have been diagnosed. And what do you expect them to do with it?
Well, that's going to be added to Velita's Hope comfort items, but also it's for women to write their own story and write their disappointments and write their wins and their losses. So that is definitely a tool you want to get with the book because it's going to help you write your own story, write down questions that you may have for your physician.
And what will we find at velitashope.org? What's on your website? How can we use that?
Our website is to tell you what we're doing in the community and the events that's going on. And again, my story is also on the website as well.
And anything new as far as your organization goes? Are you still learning things on how to help women?
Constantly learning. I won't give up. I won't give up on trying to help other women win that may have to go through this. We have our annually mobile mammogram day coming up where we help give, not recliners, where we help women get mobile mammograms in the community. We're going to be at the Rock Roll Library, and women can come out, walk-ins, but you want to make an appointment. That's the key thing. And they can get their mammogram on a Saturday when they're off.
Well, I hope people will look into this and certainly check it out. Velita Keys, thank you for being here, and congratulations on being one of 2019's Women of Achievement. You do good work, and I know that you're helping a lot of people. So
Thank you.
thanks for sharing your story.
Oh, you're welcome.
Again, that's the 2019 Women of Achievement, honoring extraordinary women for their outstanding volunteer service and leadership. There were 10 honored this year, and you can go to WOASTL.org and find out more about all of that. Yeah. Thanks again for being here, Velita. I'm Steve Potter, and thank you for watching, and please join us next time on City Corner.